Hello there. Yes, welcome to the Wonderland Museum. I'm Tweedle Dum. Yeah. I know, I must not be what you were expecting. Well, yes, the stories have portrayed me in a quite different light, haven't they? Yes, my sister is unable to join us today. She's actually at a convention at the UN advocating for Wonderland rights for flamingos. Yes. Well, they are considered to be second-class citizens here, and justly so, I do believe. Well, it is my honor and privilege today to be able to guide you around our lovely and quaint little museum that we have here. It has a wide variety of artifacts and relics that I think you'll find particularly fascinating. Let me just put down my copy of War and Peace. I was skimming through it for the 5th time. I just can't get enough of it. So, is there any particular exhibit that you've been looking forward to seeing? So you aren't well versed in the various artifacts that we do have in our collection? All right. Well, as the curator, I can assure you that there are a myriad of pieces that I think you'll find very interesting. All right. Well, are you ready for your grand tour then? Lovely. Now, this first exhibit here, right in the entrance, is actually the armor that was worn by Alice herself in the Great Jabberwocky War. Now, I'm sure you've heard about that particular incident. Yes. Well, it was a devastating time period in Wonderland. Many souls were lost, and well, we'd rather not speak of it too often, but it's little reminders like these, such as the armor that we have here, that remind us of the resilience of Wonderlandians. Yes. All right, let's go to the next exhibit over here. This is one of our most off-kilter pieces, in my opinion, rather unconventional. It's actually a bust of the King of Hearts, who was, of course, beheaded many years ago, but it's made entirely out of blue cheese. We aren't quite sure who the artist is, or when it was created. We can assume it was made shortly after his death, simply because you can see that the artist has taken some liberty and added some apple slices here at the bottom to make it seem as though, well, his head has been severed from his body. Quite realistic, but in a offbeat sort of way, I do feel. It isn't one of the most beautiful pieces of art, but it is simply, well, it's one of the most fragrant in an odorous sort of way. Well, anyway, let's move on. Let's see here. Oh, this is quite a lovely example here. This is in a climate-controlled box, as you can see. It was the first rose to be painted by the Queen of Hearts herself. I understand that during your trip here you will be having afternoon lunch and painting roses with the Queen herself, correct? Well, that will be an interesting experience indeed. Anyway, this is one of the first roses that she painted. Let me double check with my notes here in our little brochure that we have. It was painted several decades ago, and it looks as though it was preserved just recently, however, because it started to degrade and wither. Roses here are very unlike roses on your earthly realm, simply for the fact that they do wither much more slowly. So, yes. As I said, it's climate controlled and protected against all of the elements, and we used to allow people to touch the stem, but that posed some dangers given the thorns, so we stopped allowing that. And plus it kind of smudged up the rose with wavy fingerprints and such, so. Let's see. Yes, we'll move on to our next exhibit now. This is one of my favorite pieces in the museum. This is actually by one of our most celebrated artists, the Red Rabbit. Yes, well, it's the White Rabbit's cousin, twice removed, I do believe. And she's quite a lovely artist, as you can see, and this is her interpretation of the Last Tea Party. As you can see, they're all lined up there at the tea party table. The Mad Hatter in there, and the White Rabbit, and Alice. And this is actually a tea party that took place just before the first Jabberwocky encounter. So it's quite a remarkable piece of our collection. And as I said, one of my favorites, if not my very favorite piece that we have here. We acquired it from the Red Rabbit herself. She donated it to our collection. Now this next exhibit here is something that's particularly poignant for Wonderlandians. This is the first eat me, drink me accoutrement that was bestowed upon Alice to allow her to alter her size when she came to Wonderland for the first time. Yes, so it is quite lovely. As you can see, the cake and the potion are in pristine condition. As soon as the transformation took place, these items were carefully stowed away within the pocket of the White Rabbit, who gave them to the museum, and we have had them on display ever since Alice came to stay with us. So she is a very loved figure here. In many ways, she has helped shape our kingdom, and we are eternally grateful to her. I won't say that she is one of the most famous people in our history, but she is certainly one of the most appreciated. Yes. Lovely girl. Have you had the opportunity to meet her yet? Oh, yes. She gives off a certain glow, doesn't she? Well, I'm sure you're going to enjoy your tea time with her later this week. There's a buzz going about the village that she has something special planned for you, so that will be lovely. This next thing here that I'd like to show you, it's actually behind this glass pane right here. We keep it in a hermetically sealed environment, climate controlled, because these are all first edition books. Each of these things were written by Wonderlandian authors, and the most popular pieces in this collection are the works that were written by the Cheshire Cat. What many people don't know is he is a very accomplished writer. He writes a variety of books kind of recounting the tales of his time with Alice and his adventures with her, as he is one of her beloved companions. And he even writes some historically based novels, which are absolutely delightful. Yeah. We have some cookbooks here. The Eat Me, Drink Me cookbook, which is written by the famous baker, and I think you're going to meet them later this week too. Yes, wonderful collection, assortments of sweet treats there. So this is the first edition cookbook from that particular author. There are a wide range of titles written here. The unauthorized biography of the Queen of Hearts, and this one is quite notable because, of course, the author was promptly beheaded, so this is their first and only work. Let's see here. Yes, feel free to kind of peruse and see if there's any other titles that you might like to actually check out at our library. And these are all first editions, but you can, of course, get the copies of them at our library. Just down the street, that's right. Now this particular exhibit here is the last one I want to show you, but it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. It actually houses two of our most popular artifacts that we have here. Off to the left here is Absalom's mushroom, his toadstool, so you can kind of see it up close. It's much smaller than most people think, but it's an absolutely brilliant example of fungi. Yes. And then off to the other side here, we have the Mad Hatter's hat. Now this was the first hat ever created by the Mad Hatter, because as you know, he was the official royal hatter, and or miller, and he made a variety of hats after this one, but this was his prototype. And this is often the one you'll see in a lot of pictures that depict the Mad Hatter. It's kind of his signature hat. Now, what many people don't know also is that he started a very successful miller kind of hat company, which is still down the street. Started about 120 years ago, and made his family, I don't gossip, but made his family filthy rich off of it. Yes, they are quite affluent because of that hat store. I know it was franchised out to several different realms. I know there's one in Neverland today, and I think there's even one on the streets of Milan, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, very popular indeed. So, I'm going to leave you to it and let you kind of wander around the museum and revisit some of the things I showed you if you like, or explore new exhibits that we didn't get a chance to kind of peruse together. I actually have to go back to the front because I'm hosting a tour that the school children are going to be kind of enjoying today. Yeah, we like to keep our youth involved and let them know about their history, so we have these tours regularly. Okay, it was a pleasure meeting you, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.